Hey, welcome to the Minimum Roadmap. This is probably going to be a very long video. I don't care. The reason I started this YouTube channel was to be able to go into detail on some things that interest me or things I'm talking about with the brand. And so, frankly, I don't give a single fuck if people watch any of my videos or all the way through or whatever. It's more of an archive for when I die, which for some reason I feel like will be when I'm fairly young. And people can go back and kind of watch everything and learn more about it. We got to get clips for the documentary, right? The biography. And so people can go through this and kind of figure things out. So anyway, welcome to the Minimum Roadmap. What we're going to do in this video is I'm going to walk you through, first of all, the past of Minimum. What is the design inspiration for this brand? I'm going to talk about how I got started. Then I'm going to talk about the present, some of the things that I'm trying to solve, how I am trying to work through current issues, and what plans I'm working on. And then I'm going to talk about the future and what Minimum will look like in 3 years. Okay, so should be pretty informative, I think, if you're a fan of the brand. If you are completely unaware of what Minimum is, this might mean completely nothing to you, and that's okay. All right, so starting off, some background and context. What is Minimum? Basically, I wanted to start a gothic clothing brand, and I'm going to show you exactly why I did that. In a couple slides. But basically, I wanted to make clean goth or art goth clothing for people that didn't want to look like a Hot Topic poster, but they haven't quite reached the point of giving up on themselves to go shop at fucking Lululemon or Aritzia or Banana Republic or Gap or what H&M. Not that there's anything wrong with those. I have some clothes from some of those, but so you're a little bit alt and you want to wear something alt, but you don't necessarily want to look like a fucking joke, right? That's what Minimum is for. This is the real inspiration. I had this epiphany or idea of what would a vampire in streetwear look like if Dracula or Nosferatu was, and this is what the thing on the right is, right? It's Nosferatu in streetwear. If Dracula or Nosferatu was living in the modern day, what would he wear as streetwear? And that's where Minimum came from. So here's some concepts. And it took forever to actually find these three concepts because it's not a very well-known or well-explored idea, which gives me hope. It means I'm treading new ground, so to speak. The three hoodies that created it all. So in 2021, I came back to the United States after living in Korea for a very long time, and I was spoiled because Korea has a ton of very cool streetwear brands. Into the Deep is one of my favorite Korean streetwear brands. Elfric Eden is another one I had a lot of clothes from. Big fan of Stockholm Syndrome. Love Stockholm Syndrome. All three of these, I had a ton of pieces from. I was going shopping all the time at these stores in Apgujeong Rodeo, looking for new pieces to add to my collection. Space Community would be another one, or Fuzz. Fuzz is now shut down, unfortunately, which makes me really sad. I love their stuff. So, came back to America in 2021, started buying some streetwear in America, or just clothes in general, and I shopped at these three places. The first was Dark Sport. Now, Dark Sport is owned by Civil Regime, Michael Civil, and I shouldn't be trying to burn bridges in this stage, but you know what? Fuck it. Fuck Michael Civil for creating two dog shit brands at the same time. Now, the designs of Dark Sport and Civil Regime aren't bad. I bought some Civil Regime stuff. I bought some Dark Sport stuff. I was wildly disappointed with the quality. Wildly. You can even see in this picture here. See that snarl on the elastic band, right? It's very cheap clothing. Very cheap. And they sell it for a lot. Comparatively, a lot. $65, $70 for the hoodies. And it's garbage, right? Tiny little hood. It doesn't feel good to wear. It bunches up under your belly and it makes you look fat as fuck. I just did not enjoy it. Second brand that I bought, these were all purchased in the span of about 6 weeks. Second brand was La Morte hoodie, or La Morte clothing. I bought this hoodie from them. It's fucking polyester. This is 100% cotton, which is fine, but this is like 30% polyester. It was small. It didn't have an oversized streetwear fit. The art is amazing. Love the art. And the guy who owns this brand sent me like a signed print of the art, which was so cool. Okay, so I'm not trashing this brand. I have so much respect for La Morte clothing. Zero respect for Dark Sport. Fuck them and fuck their stupid advertising, but whatever. So yeah, anyway, love the guy, love his art. It's incredible. It's perfect. It's beautiful. Maybe a little bit edgier than what Minimum is, but just really, really good. But quality of the clothing is fucking dog shit, unfortunately. So I would recommend, if you buy anything from them, go purchase their art or like prints. Don't purchase this. The third one. This is the worst hoodie I've ever purchased in my entire life. It's from a brand called Hypoxia. It was fucking garbage in all ways. I wore it 0 times. I put it on and went, wow, this is shit. But since I don't return things because I feel like it's shitty to return stuff from companies, I don't know. I mean, like, unless it's a really big company, but these are fairly small companies besides Michael Civil and his fucking monstrous machine. So I didn't return it, but like, garbage. Don't ever buy anything from Hypoxia. It's just plastic. So I got pissed off. I decided to start making my own. I said, how fucking hard could it be? So these were just for me. I did not start this trying to get rich or get a G-Wagon or whatever, and I really don't give a shit. If I ever get really wealthy, the only thing that's going to change about my life is I'm going to be working out of a loft in Seoul or in New York or both. And that's really going to be it. Maybe a store. But my life will not materially change. So I'm fine with, like, to this day, Minimum makes very little money, not a whole lot. And every single dollar that Minimum makes, I pour back into research and development. But that's another story. Anyway, made 3 hoodies to start. Did a black on black, and I drew this little skull in like 2 seconds because I thought it was cute and kind of cool. And then this is MNMM. This was an experiment for the very first, like, miniaturization of the logo, when the logo is maybe too big, too much. And then this is a chain pull that I added to the hoodie. These were like Gildan hoodies, or a little bit better than Gildan. Quality was not great. The embroidery was obviously super tiny and not great. I didn't love wearing them. I wore them a little bit. And I sold 4. I sold 1 to my brother. No, I sold 2 to my brothers. And I sold 2 to people that I work with. And they liked them, which was a really interesting lesson for me because I didn't like them. So, which I'm a perfectionist. But I thought, if I don't like them, how can anyone else like them? But I still get compliments on these first 3 hoodies. Because even out of the options that I created, I was still being, somewhat picky about quality. So all 3 of these, 100% cotton, fairly heavyweight. Like, they're not anywhere near what I would make today, but they were fine. I'm going to try and go faster. I'm sorry. I got to speed up. So, landmarks. What were the landmarks of season 1? It was my first custom hoodie designs with embroidery or material experimentation. It was my first work with GSM, fabrics, and styles. And it was learning in private. I was not publicizing this. I wasn't trying to sell it to anybody. I was just trying to make shit happen. And shit happened. Pricing. So these hoodies cost $59. That was just what felt like the right price. I didn't make any money on them, really. I sold 4, and that was because people were asking about them. Present. We get a sip of Rolling Rock here. Things exploded when I did the Minimum Tattoo Club. So, March of 2024, I made a video on YouTube or TikTok, and I said, hey, if you get my brand tattooed on your body anywhere, you will get 1 free piece of clothing from every single drop for the rest of your life. These are 3. I had 70 people do it. And of those 70, they've been getting their free stuff and everything. So that video got 1 million views. It blew up. I had hundreds and hundreds of people messaging me to do it, and that was kind of a kickstart for the brand itself. I went from 1,800 followers on TikTok to 6,000 in 2 days. Kind of blew up. Right now on TikTok, I think I'm at like 25,000 ish, 24,000 something. Anyway, this is the most recent drop, so obviously we've been continuing to improve. Still using the logo on a lot of stuff, but we've got I branched out a little bit, did hoodies, did some flannels, did some tees. This is important, but it's not like devastatingly important, so I'm not gonna like spend a whole lot of time on this, which I might regret down the road, because to us the present is easily knowable and understandable, but in the future I might look back and go, why didn't I include every item that I made? C'est la vie. Landmarks for this current time right now. Here are the landmarks that I'm working through. These are my first new styles of clothing. So first time I've done flannels, I've done tees, I've done jewelry, and I've done hats. I'm working on several secret projects right now of other stuff. This is my first attempt at different styles of creation. So, excuse me. So large embroidery, DTG printing, mixing DTG and screen printing, different styles of fabric as far as brushed or fleece or whatever. And then these are where I added in things like woven labels, dust bags, custom poly mailers, custom packaging. And at this time, this was when I was trying out different kinds of custom packaging. So I shipped some of my t-shirts in paint cans, which was a big hit, but they fucked up the post office machine so bad that I had to stop, unfortunately. But it was really cool while it lasted, and it was like a really cool introduction for a lot of people to the brand. So current pricing. So the pricing is hoodies are costing $88. They're actually, so you're supposed to price your stuff at 4x what it costs you, your clothing, right? That is just the general rule. If I was pricing my hoodies at 4x what they cost me, they would be roughly $145, $160, something like that. They cost me about $35 to make. I'm okay with pricing them at less because I want people to be introduced to the quality of the brand, and for me, this shit doesn't matter as much, right? Profit doesn't matter as much as a good introduction to the quality of the brand. Tees are costing $45. They cost me about $18 to make. So I should be pricing them at like $60. Of course, that price would go down if I was being cheaper on quality, but I'm not going to do that. Hats are costing me $24. They're cashmere, and necklaces cost $19. And I've sold roughly 200 items in 3 drops, so about 60 items per drop. I think I've sold actually more than that now, but whatever. I made this like 3 days ago. The future. Now this is the part that you actually tuned in for, so I'm probably gonna have to like timestamp this shit, whatever. So landmarks. What is gonna happen in the future? So I'm going to do cut and sew patterns. No more blanks. I love the blanks that I've got. I've worked really hard on sourcing the correct ones. I've spent a lot of money and sourcing the right ones, and I've also been a complete bastard when it comes to quality, so I've thrown away so many hoodies that I've gotten. In the future, every single item that I make is going to be custom made, just hands down. And heavily upgraded materials, so cashmere, silk, organic brushed cotton, artisan materials and methods. I'm going to play around with more materials and methods. Denim is one that I really want to get into. Actual literal indigo printing or indigo dye. And physical locations. In the future, there's going to be minimum stores. Each store is going to be a nightclub. So they're going to be a Gothic style nightclub called Minimum. It'll be like Minimum New York, Minimum Nashville, Minimum LA. And people will be able to go clubbing there. And then when they're leaving at 3, 4 a.m., they'll be able to purchase clothing from these nightclubs. It'll be Gothic style, so we're gonna have big LED Gothic windows on the sides. We're gonna have a huge LED Gothic vampire style bar. It's gonna be a huge, club floor. Everything. It'll be perfect. But yeah, so every minimum store is going to be a nightclub. There will not be any minimum store that is not a nightclub. Here's some brands that inspire me right now. So these are the brands I am shooting to become like. This is what minimum will be in the next 3 years. And this will require abandoning a lot of my current customers, which is a little bit unfortunate. And this will require, I mean, some customers will come with me. Many of my customers are fans of these brands as well. And they understand that this is a journey, that we are a seed that is growing. This is not what the brand is going to stay as. So brands that I really, really like and that I'm modeling minimum after is Represent, Fear of God, Off-White. Big fan of this brand called MXDVS. Love, love, love everything that they're doing. They're a Belgian brand. I actually was extremely depressed the first time I found MXDVS because I wanted so badly. They were like so much of what I wanted to be. They're just a little bit more like industrial goth, not necessarily art goth, so they're fine. Supreme, obviously, Bape. Big fan. Bape is what got me into streetwear. I saw Keith Ape's song Ichima. Loved it. Heron Preston, that's the orange square. Big fan of Heron Preston, everything that he's done. Anine Bing, now she's only doing stuff for women right now. My first hoodie is the like cut and sew custom pattern is heavily inspired by the Anine Bing Harvey sweatshirt. I love how it looks and how she's designed it, and I'm going to design mine to be very similar in terms of how it fits on men or in unisex. And then minimum, obviously I have my own twist on everything that I do, and it's very unique and different, and so that's what I am focused on, working on, being at a spot where the minimum logo can join these shamelessly. So these are some of the things that have inspired me right now. I left the last two blank because I just couldn't find anything right now. But anyway, Anine Bing, extreme drop shoulder on her hoodie. I love her quality. She charges a lot more than I'm going to charge, but love that. Obviously, big fan of Off-White and Virgil Abloh. Don't love the quality. Virgil Abloh never really gave a shit about quality, which is fine. I do, so that's not me. Golf Wang and Tyler the Creator, big fan of him as well. I think that they're really cool. And he does give a shit about quality. That's why he started his brand too, so I like it. But yeah, so clothing items that are never going to appear in minimum just because minimum is for me. It is stuff that I like, and I'm never going to be apologetic about changing the way that I dress to create things that aren't for me, if that makes sense. That's word salad. I'm not going to create shorts because I never wear shorts, and I don't know how to progress shorts further. Sweatpants. I don't really like sweatpants outside of the gym, and I don't think that there's a way that I can create sweatpants that are going to be really unique and different without like significantly upgrading the materials. So pushing them to cashmere or Angola. And I don't think people would pay $200 for a pair of sweatpants for me just yet. Zip hoodies. I hate zip hoodies with a passion. I'm not even going to bother explaining them. Fucking hate them. So never making them. Shoes. I just couldn't do it. Yeah. Anyway. And then underwear. This specifically means men's underwear. With help, I might do women's underwear at some point, but we'll get into that in a minute. Some items that may appear in minimum. Swimwear and bikinis. Those are something that I have been heavily requested by a lot of my customers, and it's something that I'm working on right now as far as sourcing someone who can make swimwear or bikinis. Thinking about both a one piece and a bikini for next spring or summer. Lingerie, again, something that people have asked about. Probably just gonna do a mesh bra and call it good. Just because you could wear your own pants or shorts with it and then wear the mesh bra or the lace bra as a top, like a bralette, and then that's kind of like cool and different and interesting. It's easy for me to style for you. Brands, so actually things that you heat up and like brand yourself with or don't, but I just think they're cool. lighters, skateboard decks, silk scarves, belts, and sweaters. Here's my design wish list. These are 3 things that I really, really want to make. Sort of. First is plushes. That's an MXDVS plush. Huge fan of MXDVS, obviously. Really, really love everything they're doing. I think that everything from their art direction to their design and style is incredible. I would love to make a plush like that. That plush is $200 though. More clothing types. This is from a brand called Scoot, Skoot. Scoot has done some really, really cool stuff in the like industrial goth kind of space. And I'm a big fan of them, big fan of everything they've done. This is one of their bikinis, and this is something that I'm going to take inspiration from when I make my own swimwear. And the third is from a brand called Vitali. If you've ever seen me wear that spiked necklace, that's from Vitali. A big fan of Vitali and everything that they're doing. They've got like a great vision for like futuristic chrome core kind of stuff. So the pricing for season 4 plus. Now, pricing has scaled, and it will continue to scale. So this is going to be probably the earliest late 2025. At the latest, early 2026. Hoodies are going to be costing $148. I think that's where we're going to pause pricing. We're going to kind of keep it around there. I'm not looking to scale to off-white prices just because I can't justify that for myself. But these are the prices that things cost or will cost. Tees will cost $68. I'm looking to get better formats, better brands, like colors and cloth, like types of cotton. And the plan is to upgrade and elevate tees to that spot as well. Flannels will cost $98. There's a lot of levels to what I want to do with flannels. They didn't sell super well, so I might not even continue to make them. But I think they're kind of a lost art in America right now. And I think solid color flannels are where the future is, not the checker. And so I'm going to be sourcing flannel shirts, solid color. Hats will be $48. That's a pretty reasonable price. I think necklaces will be $48. That's also reasonable, unless they're really, really involved. And then sweatshirts are going to cost $78. For right now, unless inflation fucking takes off again, and who knows, hoodies could be $350. And that's it. I feel like it went super fast, but it was still a 23-minute video. So, yeah. Anyway, probably not a lot of people will see this initially. If you're watching this in 3 years, hi. I hope we succeeded. I hope you're watching this drunk as fuck on the subway on the way home from Minimum Brooklyn and going to your apartment. And you're like, holy shit, I just bought 2 hoodies for $210 a piece, and I want to know more about this guy. Where was he in 2024? And if you're watching this in 2027 or 2028, I love you. I'm glad that you're here. Thanks for watching along.